Yesterday I talked about AI, today I'm talking about AI, tonight in your dreams I'm going to be talking about AI. Sleep in fear, coward. It's all around us, it's like oxygen at this point. It's starting to get into every possible aspect of human life. The flesh is cringe, binary is the future. Open your third eye and you'll start to notice everything around you has become synthetic. Your friends, fake. Your dog, artificial. Your mama's titties, well, I'm happy to say them honkers are real. But aside from that and a few other things, AI has started to become a part of all of our day-to-day lives, whether we recognize it or not. And today, I saw a bit of controversy around a piece of technology I didn't even know existed. Robotaxis. So I knew automated cars were very deep into development, and I knew that there were some that had rolled out, but I didn't know there was entire companies that were already launched and successful based around autonomous ride-sharing taxis. It's a service called Waymo. And in San Francisco, they just had a really wacky story blow up about how every night at 4 a.m., these robo-taxis, when they were pulling into the company parking lot, would just start fucking blaring their horns and waking up all of the residents around there.
That sound of honking is waking up neighbors lately in this South of Market neighborhood.
I get woken up at, 4 o'clock in the morning, and I look down and I'm convinced now it is coming from the Waymos.
Randall, I think you're onto something with that hypothesis there. Also, since I'd never heard of the company before, when I kept seeing the word Waymos tossed around, I really thought these news articles were just dropping slurs.
Neighbors shared videos of driverless Waymo cars filing into the lot and backing into spots, which appears to trigger honking from the other Waymos.
The cars are robotic and they're honking at each other, and there's no one in the cars when it's happening, and that's absurd. Would like them to stop honking their horn at 4 in the morning repeatedly.
In San Francisco, Alyssa Gord, NBC, Bay Area News.
Sounds like I'm back in New York City with all that honking. It's really cool to see like this top-down bird's eye view of the parking lot. So all of the Waymos they're like in this cat and mouse game. It's kind of like a puzzle game almost, like back in the PlayStation 1 era when you would have like these shovelware games where it's like, can you park your car in this weird location with all of these other cars trying to park in these locations? That's what it looks like here. So these Waymos are automatically trying to park in places that other Waymos are trying to get around. So they end up just getting caught in this fucking Dormammu time loop where they're just honking at each other and not making any progress. My heart breaks for that one Waymo that's trying to crank a 46-point turn that's sandwiched in between the two other Waymos that are just kind of going forward and backwards. It's the worst human centipede ever. And understandably, the residents are really fed up with hearing honking at 4 a.m. every night. Now, Waymo has apparently fixed this issue since the story blew up. The residents have reported quieter nights now, so that's good. But this story got me thinking. I began to ponder. Would I be comfortable getting in a robotaxi? Like if a Waymo scooted in sideways, honked on its horn, Charles, get in, we're gonna take you to the card shop, you fucking nerd. Would I feel okay getting into that vehicle? Now, public transportation in the States is absolute putrid dog shit. It's terrible. It's just horrible. And in my area, specifically Tampa, it doesn't exist. It's fundamentally extinct here. The closest thing you can get to public transportation here is if you give $50 to like the local crack dealer and he'll give you a piggyback ride to where you want to go. We do have buses here and that can be viable depending on where you're located in Tampa, but for the most part, you either need a vehicle of your own or you need to live close enough to your work that you can walk or bike to it, or you need to start forking over big clams to be doing ride sharing every day with like Uber. Taxis are more forgotten than Game of Thrones Season 7 in Tampa. I don't see them on the road. I even actually tried calling a taxi like 6 months ago because Uber's really far away and I needed to get somewhere urgently. So I tried, to see if a taxi was closer. And when I called them, I didn't get any answer. I just got endless ringing, so I don't even know if the phones are still operational or if there even is taxis anywhere left in Tampa. So autonomous robotaxis, if they were implemented here, I imagine they'd probably try and be cheaper than other ride-sharing alternatives, which would give people more options for transportation. And when I thought about this, of if I'd be comfortable with an autonomous vehicle driving me, I just don't think I would be. Like, I don't think, like, it gives me the heebie-jeebies. I would still prefer ride-sharing with a human being. I have more trust there than in this technology. For crying out loud, AI tools can't even spit out an image of Mickey Mouse being finger blasted by Mario without his fingers looking like they're part of a Salvador Dali painting and all fucked up. And I'm supposed to trust it with my life, going 60 miles per hour down a highway? No siree. Plus, I've read those horror stories and had seen a couple of those videos where self-driving vehicles all of a sudden just, like, out of nowhere accelerate rapidly because of, like, a malfunction or something. I imagine a lot of those bugs have been fixed by this point, but even still, that fear is just planted up here. Like, the technology isn't perfect. As you can see here, granted, this isn't like a life-ruining, glitch with Waymo's cars honking at each other at 4 a.m. It's a nuisance, yes, but it doesn't, no one's dying from it. Unless, of course, it's ear-piercing and it blows up someone's brain or some shit. But it just, like, I wouldn't feel comfortable until even a simple thing like that can't happen. You know what I mean? It's just so many things that can go wrong when there's no one in control of the vehicle aside from the computer. Computers are prone to malfunctions. And of course, humans aren't perfect either, but there's just always this mutual understanding that the person who's driving right now, like I'm ride sharing with, probably doesn't have a death wish and probably isn't going to ramp this car off of a tow truck, killing us both. Whereas a machine has no feelings. It can't feel love. It doesn't even know it's alive, that stupid idiot. So if something goes haywire in there and it says, slam into this wall without braking, it might just do it. And then I'm in trouble and I can't do anything about it. I have no doubt that this technology will eventually reach a point where it's better than every human driver on the road. That's just the way technology works. We can't compete with AI technology and shit like this. That's the cold, hard truth. That's the brass tacks of it. But I just don't think it's at the point right now where I would feel safe in it. From what I have researched here, it doesn't seem like Waymos are prone to accidents and shit. Like, I'm not reading about a new 50-car pileup every time with Waymo vehicles being to blame or anything. But I just, there's something hard-coded in my DNA that doesn't want me getting in a car that doesn't have a driver behind the wheel. It doesn't make sense for my survival instincts. Now, let's talk about in the future when it is perfected, what I feel comfortable. Probably, but it also doesn't make me super excited. When I first heard about this technology, I was pretty excited about it because I do see a lot of potential benefits, especially if it's cheaper than traditional ride sharing. This could be a really good alternative. And also, since machines have the capability of being better drivers than people on the road, I thought there was definitely a chance that it would minimize accidents if every car had like an autonomous driving feature like in it. But when it comes to autonomous robotaxiing, like specifically, I'm just not super hype about that because it's just going to take away even more jobs and replacing humans with AI. It's just kind of scary and sad, frankly. Like, as more and more jobs get replaced with AI, it's going to be even less human-to-human interaction, which is the last thing society needs. Right now, we're more connected to each other than ever, and it's led to people being more isolated than ever because it's not actual meaningful connections. It's human to computer interaction with the understanding that there might be a human on the other side, but with the current landscape of the internet, most of the time it's a bot. So, like, there's already a problem with people not socializing, and by taking away even more jobs and replacing it with AI, it's only going to make that problem worse in my eyes. So I like the idea of autonomous vehicles because I do think it can really help, like, when it comes to minimizing accidents eventually, but I just don't like the idea of all ride sharing going fully autonomous. I really don't. I have a friend who drives for Uber, and it's a crucial part of their paycheck, and I have no doubt there's plenty of other drivers out there in a similar situation to him, and if that vanishes, that's just going to be rough. Like, that's just not good. It's not like the Robotaxi technology is solving a problem. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the current ride-sharing format where people are driving people. The only thing this does is help corporations save money because now you don't have to hire drivers. You just have to pay for the Waymos or something. So you're saving a lot of money by not paying employees. And the Waymo autonomous robotaxi doesn't need to like take a cut of the ride sharing expense or anything. So it's just much more profit for corporations at the expense of people. And I'm just not super thrilled about that. So this whole goofy Waymo story about them honking at 4 a.m. just had me really going down this rabbit hole about this technology and the future of it. So I just kind of wanted to talk about this whole subject here. That's about it. So yeah.